All right, welcome everybody. This is Hungry for Moat. I'm Prabat. Here we have Avinash as usual, and today we will be covering the second letter for the year 1962. And I'm realizing I think there may be a third letter this year. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Buffett can find any stocks to buy, spending way too much time writing letters, more
Yeah,
than I like.
yeah,
But it's all worth it if we learn something from it.
yes, and also maybe the reason for his third letter is because it's a down year. People are freaking out, asking a lot of
Ooh,
questions.
good
That might
point.
that might be the reason.
There
Yep.
are people pulling out their money, and he's like, "Yo, what you doing?
Yeah. You do not
At a
know who I am?
compound."
Yeah.
I am Buffett. All right, let's get. Did you want to talk about it? I think we covered a lot already for the year. I don't think there's anything
Yeah,
new
so
to
kind of where we left
the same
off
year.
last the say the what we where we left off last year or first part of the last year was 1962 is where we are. The beginning of it was what we covered last week. So what this was at this period of time the market wasn't doing good. This is his first negative year, but still less negative compared to the general Dow, which is still his yardstick. But
Mhm.
interestingly, we saw that how is he really doing compared to the other exchanges or maybe the other like money management funds, and he's kicking butt. He's really doing fantastic. So maybe since this is a downturn, we'll get to learn a little bit more about what to expect.
All right. First, 1962. Um, just making sure. Yep. Here we go on the annual paper flurry. Two copies of an amended partnership agreement for 1963 are enclosed. The one with the general provisions attached is to be kept by you, and the other single page agreement should be returned. There are no substantive changes of any sort from last year's agreement. The amendment is merely to allow for a few new partners and in several places to reword in clearer, we hope, language provisions of the present agreement. Practically all of the rewording is in General Provision 5, paragraph 7 in last year's agreement. Rather than have a separate amending document, we have incorporated the changes into one complete document embodying the entire agreement. We are also enclosing two commitment letters, one for you, one to be returned, on which you are to indicate your wishes regarding additions or withdrawals at January 1st. We would like to have the agreement and the commitment letter back by January 1st. However, the commitment letter can be amended right up until the end of year, not after. So if you should have a change of plans and you have already mailed us your commitment letter, all you have to do is get in touch with me and I will make sure whatever changes you desire. Any withdrawal will be paid immediately after January 1st. Any additions must reach us by January 10th. And should they be paid in during November, they will take on a status of advance payments and draw interest at rate of 6% until year end. I'm gonna stop there, and looks like he's talking about he's restructuring things. He's trying to simplify.
Yep.
He kind of told us he would be doing that by end of 1962 anyways, and he's kind of also making sure all the money inflows happens in a very narrow time window at the end of the year, like 31st December 31st and January 1st kind of time frame. And if you really want to pull out money earlier, you can still do that. You'll basically be taking a loan from the partnership at 6%, and that's his kind of. I mean, regardless of what's happening with the interest rate, he's just sticking with the 6% rule. It just
Yep.
simplifies things.
Right. And I suspect at this time a lot of people are pulling out because people are freaking out. They're emotional creatures, obviously.
Maybe
So
some. I mean, these are still his close friends and family. I mean,
yeah.
perhaps. I mean, that would be a normal thing for people to do is pull out
Yep.
during a down market and freak out.
Yep.
Um, Please be sure the signature on my partnership agreement is notarized. Partners in Omaha may obtain the notarization at our office if they wish. Also, be sure to let us know by any appropriate circle on the commitment letter whether you wish to receive monthly payments in 1963. In order to be sure everyone understands this, let me again state that these monthly payments are in no sense guaranteed earnings or anything of sort. They represent a convenient form of regular withdrawal, which to the extent we earn better than 6% are payments from earning. And to the extent we don't, are payments from capital. Interesting. So this kind of ties back to the 6%. He's created this kind of a sort of a dividend from the partnerships for people who really want to. And in a down year, this will eat into your capital. That means it's coming from your capital. You're paying yourself. And on a good year, it's coming from earnings. So, I mean, it's really up to the investor if you really need it. If you don't, then you probably opted to not have the 6% withdrawal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Complete tax information for your 1962 return will be in your hands by January 20th. If you should need an estimate of your tax position before that time, let me know and I'll give you a rough idea. We will also send out a short letter on taxes in late December. Having read this far, you are entitled to report on how we have done to date in 1962. For the period ending October 31st, the Dow showed an overall loss, including dividends received, of approximately 16%. Um, we intend to use the same method or valuing our controlling interest in Dempster Mill manufacturing this year end and that we did at the end of last year. This involved applying various discounts to the balance sheet items to reflect my opinion as to what could be realized on a very prompt sale. Last year, this involved a 40% discount on invest inventories, a 50% discount on receivables, estimated auction value of fixed assets, which led to an approximate value of $35 per share. This is interesting. He's talking about, he's trying to tell people how they're doing. For large holdings that are in the stock, it's easy to say, this is what the market's saying, this is what it's worth today.
Mm-hmm.
Things like this Dempster Mill, which he owns kind of fully and it's or hugely, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very illiquid. He's trying to put a value on that too. If he had to immediately liquidate it in this illiquid sort of a way, he would it not be an efficient transaction and he would take losses. So he's trying to put numbers on the losses and trying to tell you if I had to sell Dempster Mill Manufacturing today, it would be worth about $35 per share.
Yeah. Still a price up from where he bought it, which was in the 20s, I believe, right? Do you remember the
I
exact number?
I do not remember that
Okay,
anymore,
yeah,
but I'm sure he'll
but
talk
yeah,
about it more.
but I suspect that he's going to be holding it.
Correct.
I don't
He's
think.
not. He's not selling anything.
Yep, yep,
Not. He's not selling that at least.
yep.
The successful conversion of substantial portions of the assets of December of
Dempster.
Dempster to cash at virtually 100% on the dollar has been the high point of 1962. There we go. For
Yeah.
example, inventory of $4.2 million at the last year end will probably be about $1.9 million this year and reducing discount on this item by about $1 million. I will give this story my full journalistic treatment in my annual letter. Suffice to say at this point that applying the same discount described above will probably result in a year-end value of at least 50% per share, $50 per share. The extent of the asset conversion job can perhaps best be illustrated in a sentence pointing out that whereas we had $166,000 of cash and 2.3 million of liabilities on November 30th, 1961, which is Dempster's fiscal end,
Mm-hmm.
we expect this year to have about 1 million in cash and investments of the type of partnership buys against a total liability of $250,000. Prospects for further improvement in the situation in 1963 appears good. And we expect a substantially expanded investment portfolio in Dempster 9 next year. Oh my God. Oh my
Interesting.
God. So he's kind of doing the same thing. He has a good business he likes. He's holding it. He doesn't want to sell. He's making positive changes in the balance sheet, reducing liabilities, increasing his cash, and he's buying companies that are under the Dempster corporate umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting taste. I think this is where he's like, this is kind of interesting. I can pool my earnings and buy within that corporate umbrella.
Right. Yeah.
And
And
yeah.
Yeah, and I think so. This maybe is going to his philosophy of like I can own large parts of a company. So he's trying to take more and more of the same company so that he has more shares in that same. Um, he's trying to get more ownership. Maybe the control situation.
I don't know if he's buying more. Maybe he is, but it's definitely he's turning the business around, and he's bullish on the company.
But doesn't he say so? He says we expect a substantially expanded investment portfolio in Dempster next year. Maybe hinting that he'll be buying more.
I don't think he's buying more of Dempster. I think he's buying through Dempster more investment, more other
Ah,
small
okay.
stocks.
Gotcha. Okay. So,
And
okay.
Dempster is kind of owned by the partnership. Like the
Okay.
70% stake of Dempster
Yep.
is through the partnership. So
Yep.
anything that Dempster buys, partnership gets a big stake
Yeah,
in.
and remind me again. So Dempster is the stock where the stock price is going down, but then the investment portfolio is going up. Is that no? That's the mapping company, right?
Yeah, I mean it's something similar. I mean it's a corporate thing that has a fiscal. It's just a liquid stock that has not done much in the recent years, and Buffett, but it's slowly improving,
Yep.
slowly improving.
Okay. Okay.
Valuing Dempster at $50 per share, our overall gain before any payments to partners to October 31st for the partnership has been 5.5%. This 22.3 percentage point advantage over the Dow, if maintained until the end of the year, will be among the largest we have ever had.
Mm-hmm.
About 60% of this advantage was accomplished by the portfolio other than Dempster, and 40% was a result of increased value at Dempster. See, it's a down year, and
Yep.
Dempster is something that's not really moving with the market, and it's held its value, and that's kind of 40% of the reason why Buffett beat the Dow on a down year.
Yeah. So would you say that the I mean we don't know exactly his holdings except for that letter that you kind of flashed up, but is this one of the reasons why he's outperforming the market? Is this kind of
Yes,
can you
40% of the
attribute
reason
it?
on a
Okay.
down year, at least on a down year. On
Okay.
a bullish year, Dempster's probably holding it back.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. I want all partners and prospective partners to realize the results described above are distinctly abnormal and will recur infrequently, if at all. This performance is mainly the result of having a large portion of our money in controlled assets and workout situation rather than general market situation at time when the Dow declined substantially. If the Dow had advanced materially in 1962, we would have looked very bad on the relative basis. And our success to date in 1962 certainly does not reflect any ability on my part to guess the market. I never try, but merely reflects the fact that the high prices of generals particularly forced me into other categories or investment. If the Dow had continued to soar, we would have been low man on the totem pole. We fully expect to have years when our method of operation will not even match the result of the Dow. Although obviously I don't expect this on a long-term basis, or I would throw in the towel and buy the Dow.
Interesting.
Oh
That's
wow. Okay. So he said there basically part of the reason he didn't have huge losses is because he was buying more of the spin-off situation, the workout deals, than the obvious generals that he calls the actual general discounted stocks. And the reason, in a way, you may think he has predicted the market decline and adjusted, but he's saying, I didn't really do that. I don't want to do that. I just couldn't see anything else on sale in the generals arena. So I just switched to what I could buy, which was spin-offs, and hence I think I did better. Not because I'm the oracle and I could see that market would decline. I had to adjust.
so
So
wait,
this
but I do have a question here. So does this mean that spin-offs are well, I guess not, but are spin-offs susceptible to more of a protection compared
well,
to
spin-offs don't have price movements necessarily because of the market. They have price movement because of the corporate actions, like the mergers will go through or not. I mean, those kind of things.
okay, okay, interesting. Okay.
I will cut this sermon short with the conclusion that I certainly do not want anyone to think that the patterns of the last few years is likely to be repeated. I expect future performance to reflect much smaller advantages on average over the Dow. Each letter ends with a request that you let me know about anything that isn't clear. Please be sure that you do this. We are all geared up with secretarial help, a new typewriter, and we want to be sure that this letter and agreement are understood by all. Big spender, you know?
Oh my god. That's crazy. Oh, look,
Really
there's
want
a PS. I'm very curious to know what the PS is
Oh,
about.
there's a PS. PS, there are no prizes for being the last ones to get in the agreement and commitment letter. So please get to it as soon as possible. Uh, remember, the commitment letter can be amended by a postcard or a phone call. We are just trying to get the bulk of the work out of the way well before December 31st so we can concentrate on getting the audit tax information out pronto at year end. He's like, please don't procrastinate. Send me your stuff now. Like, don't be that dude who's like, December 25th. It's like, the post office is closed. What do I do?
I like how he's like so folksy with his investors or investing like millions of dollars into his funds.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's
So
like, I bought a new typewriter, so I can do stuff. And he's like, if I can't beat the market, I'll just buy the Dow. He doesn't say I'm gonna buy the bonds or something. He's
yep,
like, I will buy the Dow.
yep, yep. Incredible.
So I mean,
Yep.
I love how pro index funds he is this early.
That's right, yeah. And I think, talking about the yardstick, you would think looking back, you're like, oh, it's so easy. Of course, Warren Buffett, I'd go over the Dow. But now I'm starting to really realize, compared to even, his previous letter where he compares against other hedge funds or money managers, it's really hard to beat the Dow. Like, really, what he's
Yeah.
able to accomplish here is pretty extraordinary. Because you can clearly see, some of the names even exist today, and it's hard to beat that. So it's a pretty good yardstick. So I kind of agree with him there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a guy who respects the index
Yep.
and still finds the courage and ability to beat the index consistently
Yeah.
for like 80 years. I
Incredible.
mean that's like okay, let's see what you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
if you do it for 5 years, okay, maybe that was luck.
Yeah.
But if you continue to do it over and over again, I mean, there's something going on.
Yeah. Incredible. Well, that concludes the second letter of 1962.
Yes, yes, and I think this
For
was
the
hopefully he's not doing 3 letters a year from now, like for every year. But this
Yep.
may be just because of the partnership stuff. I think it was a special letter, kind of geared towards the changes coming in the partnership structure and to clarify. He's probably getting a lot of phone calls that were similar,
Yep.
so he
Yep.
just clarified it. And hopefully, the January letter, I think he'll dig really into the Dempster company and the other things he's doing.
Yeah. Exciting.
So exciting! All
Yeah.
right, guys. Till next time.
Till
Thank you
next
for your
time.
time.